welcome to another special edition of Trader Talk TV coming from Paris. Today we've got Fabian and Magdalon from Laplace. Fabian, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Karen, for coming.
Thank you very much. It's great to be in Paris. It's a run-up to the ATS Paris event on November 14th. So today we've got rid of our whiteboard and we have a flip chart. So Fabian, basically today we want to talk about the concept of Laplace. You're a year old today, and we want to talk about how it works and how it works with existing publishers within the co-op. So give us just an overview of what Laplace is and where you come from.
So Laplace Media first is a strategic alliance between five major media sales houses, usually with a pretty strong offline presence. So TV channels, major daily newspaper, major media groups. Obviously, these companies have pretty powerful sales house in-house, and the reason why they decided to create Laplace Media in the first place was, I believe, first because programmatic market was growing extremely fast, and it was important to make a strategic move in order to capture the largest share possible of revenues from that growing market. Second, because they observed that the actual dominant players in that market were having a pretty massive scale that individually each one of these publishers were not able to meet. And I think the main concern they had before launching the Laplace solution was how to make sure that while growing revenues from the programmatic market, they were still growing revenues from their direct sales house, and basically complementarity between direct sales and indirect sales through Laplace was the key concern, and actually the largest difficulty to cover during the launch period.
Yeah. So how does it actually work, Laplace? I'm just going to how the concept works. Could we map that out? How it interacts with the rest of the market, and maybe how it sort of separates itself out from that other sales layer, basically within the publishers.
Sure.
Themselves.
So how does it work? So first, maybe a couple of numbers or few numbers.
Yeah.
It's 150 sites. It's 30 million users. It's 4.5 billion impressions.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty nice, indeed. So basically, by gathering 150 sites, we solved part of our the problem, which was getting enough scale.
Yeah.
To be honest, 4.5 billion impression, when you compare it to the Google Exchange, the Facebook Exchange, is still quite compact.
But it's still premium, though.
That's exactly the value we bring to the market, is that we bring exclusively premium inventory into into our ad exchange. Obviously, advertisers and buyers see that value and are willing to invest in our ad exchange at a larger share than our actual share of volume on the ad exchange market.
Yeah. So it must be stressed. These 150 sites are from the top layer premium sites in France, where ADX and FBX are just basically long-tailed. So just make that clear. So I mean, so basically, how does it work in terms of working with the partner publishers around the sales cannibalization, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So it's pretty if we try to be simple in the way we try Laplace Media to be complementary with the direct sales house, I would say that direct sales, Laplace Media. So first, these guys, they sell sites, they sell brands, we actually sell audience. Their customers are direct advertisers and major agencies.
Yeah.
Our customers are ad networks and trading desks, indeed. The price we charge is eCPM, because we're working within an auction environment. They actually charge CPM.
Yeah.
And one key thing also, I believe, to the success of Laplace is here. These guys sell sites and brands because within Laplace Media, we actually anonymize the inventory from the 150 publishers we're getting, and we mask the URLs within the bid request. So basically, we make sure that an advertiser cannot use, or an agency cannot use Laplace Media as a way to access the actual brands of the publishers. We want to make sure that these guys have full exclusivity on selling their brand and their content. And our job is really to focus on actually monetizing all of the remnant inventory from these publishers, but using a different way of sales.
But you're obviously segmenting the audiences into like female, male.
Yeah, so that proposition obviously is segmented as much as possible. So we started with very basic masked URL, and we've been live for roughly a year now, slightly more than a year, and we've been evolving the solution we are proposing to advertiser. We now give them the ability to target context. We give them the ability to target viewable impressions. We give them the ability to target or to actually run rich media formats. That is pretty strong improvement, and that actually matches pretty well our positioning of premium exchange. It's great to within a premium context to offer the ability to run premium formats. And lastly, indeed, we've recently started selling audience packages. So we basically have the ability to provide 80 variables to customers that they can combine within each other and basically create unlimited number of segments to run across our inventory. That's another benefit of the alliance. First benefit was to drive scale in order to emerge and to exist next to the giants of the ad exchange world. Second benefit is the ability to create pretty strong data segments, because thanks to 150 sites and 30 million users, we have a density of events that we measure in order to build our data set that is pretty unique in the market, which is at least much, much stronger than what an individual publisher would have been able to do.
So obviously, it's been a year. Are you looking at things like building a DMP solution as well, or is that something you've rolled out already, or?
We're working with a technology partner that has supported us in building the data solution. We're not actually building ourselves the DMP. So far, our strategy regarding technology has been to work with suppliers rather than build everything from scratch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still have a media DNA. We're not yet at least a technology.
But you're getting
technology company.
Here you got a CTO. So, I mean, it's been a year. In terms of success of Laplace, could you sort of give us some sort of idea of how it's grown and how you've helped publishers within the
Sure. So we measure success. So we don't share, total revenues, but we measure success based on the value we manage to bring to the publishers. And I've got a couple of numbers that I can share here. From January to June 2013. We've increased the average CPM of our above the fold position to 36% in 6 months, which is decent. Another number which I believe is even more interesting is the percentage of revenue that we drive above €2 CPM. Which is a nice number, at least in the ad exchange world.
Yes, absolutely.
Not in that world, not in the direct sales world.
No,
so, basically a year ago when we launched the revenues above €2 were marginal 3 months ago. So the revenues, not 3 months ago, but let's say like March, the revenues above €2 CPM were 5% of our total revenues. End of June, we were at 20% of total revenues. So basically all these new offerings that we've created, context, visibility, data, participate at increasing value for publishers.
So in terms of the other channels, I mean, if this is just typical display, graphical displays you're looking at in terms of the co-op, are you looking at mobile and video now as your next sort of
yes, so we indeed started with display and actually remnant display. That was the first problem to fix for publishers. I believe the next large problem to fix for publishers is actually mobile, and we indeed, are going to focus, all next year on basically declining that proposition on display desktop to mobile banner remnant inventory. We've got crazy large volume available, and we know that there is a lot of potential on the French market. It's still a market that didn't grow significantly yet on mobile.
Why is that, do you think? I mean, from someone who's at the cold face, mobile is obviously a huge problem for publishers because mobile display is still not getting the spend it should get. What problems do you see in getting money in there? What do you think that needs to be done? Needs to be solved?
I'm sure there are multiple problems,
but from your perspective,
that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
From my perspective, supply is extremely fragmented.
Yeah.
Maybe more than in a display desktop. So that is a problem that we can easily fix within Laplace Media, because we can gather dozens of premium apps into one selling point and basically help solving that issue for buyers. We've launched actually a beta phase of our mobile exchange, since like 4 or 5 months now, and we've seen a lot of interest from the demand side about it. We recently see that these guys, Trading Desk, are starting to open their display desktop budgets to mobile and banners on mobile. So I'm pretty confident that in the next few years, or sorry, not years, hopefully weeks, months, the market is gonna catch up.
And there's a lot of heat in this market around video, programmatic video. Is that another area you're looking at as well?
Yes, actually, so video is a very different market. So obviously, on display desktop and mobile, we know that there is a big discrepancy between supply, which is massive, and demand, which is not as high as supply. That creates a down pressure, if that makes sense, actually.
Downward pressure on CPM, yeah.
So on video, good news is that demand is actually probably higher than supply right now, and our publishers, have no difficulty selling all of their video inventory. However, we know that some trading desks are, running some video budget, so there seems that, part of the market is moving into that direction. So we've decided with our shareholders to launch what we've called a premium video ad exchange on a slightly different strategy than we are doing for mobile and web. It's going to be a private exchange, so we'll basically select the partners that can access to the inventory.
So private deals, private marketplace deals?
Private marketplace deals. And the purpose of that move is actually to use the benefit of the ad exchanges, so automation and targeting, in order to increase prices, to drive higher value from our publisher inventory.
Well, it's probably Trading Desk is saying, if you let us overlay our own data, we'll pay you more money because that's what we want, because we get better performance.
Exactly. I mean, they at least in theory, the simple fact of putting inventory within an exchange, will drive value for the advertiser side, because they'll be able to basically cherry pick, the video impression rather than buy, a bunch of impressions. So, cherry picking, that has a value, and we want, our publishers to take advantage of that extra value. And
when does that go live? Or will it be live this year?
It will be live this year. I expect that we'll find a technology partner by mid-October, and then, it's just about operational setup, and so expect that product to be live, for ATS Paris.
ATS Paris, yes, which you are speaking of. So one last question, Fab, before we wrap up. The concept of the publisher co-ops has been very big here in France. There's yourselves and there's Audience Squared, and obviously there's a few dotted around Europe. But just wondering why you don't think more bigger markets like the UK and Germany don't do more of this, instead of consolidating supply and being able to work better with the market and working better against the scaled operations. So why do you think that's the case?
So, to be honest, I guess the main blocker is going to be, is going to be the fact that it's actually difficult, to get competitors to sit down together and try to move forward and build a combined proposition.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that anyone can understand the benefits of an alliance. The difficulty is really how that alliance is going to be articulated, who's going to have the who's going to be a decision maker in the alliance, who's not going to be a decision maker. You can't have 25 decision makers.
Yeah.
So my guess is that it's just it's just difficult to get competitors to work together. I think we've been lucky at Laplace Media to have top management within our 5 shareholders that first were really willing to make that work, had true faith into the growth of the ad exchange market, and strategically thought it was an important move to make quick. The human factor is quite important, is my point. You need to have top management to have faith into the project.
Yeah, to buy into it, basically.
To buy into it, indeed.
Okay. Fabian, thanks very much. And Fabian will be speaking at ATS Paris on November 14th. I'm glad to have him there. So Fabian, thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it. And that was Trade Talk TV. See you next week.